Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you. Today is 16th of March and I welcome you all to Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. In this session, we discuss entire Hindu newspaper with respect to UPSC CSE examination. Also, we take synoptic notes of this entire session. These notes are available on our Telegram channel. You can visit Telegram channel and can download these notes from Telegram channel. Also, link for the Telegram channel is given in description box in YouTube. Now, let's get started with the today's discussion and let's first of all see overview of entire newspaper so that we can understand that which articles are actually relevant in today's newspaper. So, here we have Delhi edition of Hindu newspaper and let's see important articles that we have here. So first article that we have here is the Supreme Court asks Supreme Court asks why State Bank of India didn't give all the details of poll bonds or electoral bonds. We will briefly be seeing this particular article as what development is happening, but no need to go too much in detail in this particular direction. New election commissions take charge. The Supreme Court refuses to stay their appointment. So what was this issue? Also, we are going to briefly discuss it. Then further moving on after that guys, moving on in this particular direction in city section, regional section, we have largely political articles that are given, not important for the examination. If you are having some different edition of a newspaper such as Chennai edition, Hyderabad edition, there might be, this section might be different, but usually it contains the issues related to political news, law and order issues and some and like that. So the similar thing is continued. Directly will reach to editorial section because still editorial nothing much has been given here. So we'll directly reach to editorial. Now in editorial, here we have this particular article. It's Ra-Ra-Ras-Putin in the Russian elections. We'll see this particular article briefly as what it is talking about. Food factor. So this article is talking about the food inflation. So we'll see this particular article also for examination. Then here AP is so here Andhra Pradesh is set for a three-cornered contest after the TDP's return to NDA. Fine political article, no need to go too much in detail here. Looking at the future of St. Patrick's Day, so with respect to India Ireland, we'll see this particular article. Then further, today is Saturday. On Saturday, here we have this ground zero report, and today's ground zero report, crime that enraged Puducherry. So recently in Puducherry, a minor girl, was she was found dead and there are the reports that she was raped. So about this, the basically public outrage etc that is being discussed, very misfortunate incident. However, for your examination you need not to go in this particular article. Then further moving on, Supreme Court to hear pleas seeking stay on CAA its rules on March 19. So if you remember, yesterday we have discussed this entire Citizenship Amendment Act rules, what are the apprehensions, what are the challenges. So matter is pending in Supreme Court and Supreme Court will hear it in on March 19. Beyond that, nothing much is there, and I'll not advise you to go every day in this particular detail. When this particular judgment will come, we'll see if that what are the what this particular judgment has to offer. We'll see that particular thing. India strongly rebuffs USA's criticism of CAA. We calls it misinformed, and always India has maintained the stand that the other countries should not interfere in the internal sovereign matters of India. Then here we have the political articles etc. No need to go. Many top electoral bond donors were under scanner of ED IT department. So here there is this information that is being given that the people who have donated, fine, now they have donated and they have donated money in crores of rupees, and in most of the cases they bought electoral bonds after the search by ED or income tax department happened. So it might point out to something fishy that is going on. Fine. But again, no need to go and track this information that which company donated how much, on which date there was a ED search, IT search. No need to go in these kind of details for your exam. Then further moving on, again political statements etc. have been given. Here we have one article, railways plan to develop multi-modal transport hub. We'll take this article. Fine. Army raises first unit to operate Apache attack helicopters in Jodhpur. We'll take this article. No porting allowed within 7 days of SIM card swap. Okay. Then on world page, Netanyahu approves plan for army operation in Gaza's packed Rafah region. Okay, so this is in line with the is Israel Gaza war that is going on. Now one thing is there guys, that every day one article will be on this particular line. You are not really required to track everyday discussions in this particular direction. Okay, locals expert raise concern over Adani wind project in Sri Lanka. So basically, guys, fine. So a wind power project is being executed by Adani Green Energy in northern Sri Lanka. Okay, Adani Green Energy, fine. It is executing a wind power project, but the local people, environmentalists, they say that it might have an impact on the coastal region, fine livelihood, because a lot of land will be taken over, etc. is there. Okay, so when we talk about this is a 442 million project, fine. So in the northern province it will be deployed, fine. So the project, it aims to it expects to add 250 megawatt in Mannar and 234 megawatt in the Ponerin. Now basically guys, this opposition is going on now, fine, and we need to see that how it might get resolved. But understand this particular thing, that India is countering the Chinese investment in Sri Lanka, and in this particular line these particular things have been taken up. Now moving on in this particular direction. Now further moving on in this particular direction. Okay, so now here we have this particular article, India woos Tesla by slashing import duty on EVs, fine. So in a push to in a push to enhance the EVs in India, electric vehicles in India, fine, we are slashing the import duties, which might be helpful for the Tesla cars and all such things. Fine, exports hit 11-month high in February, but gold push imports to $60 billion. Fine, then guys, here we have the corporate trends, etc. And then we have the sports section. So this is guys all about newspaper overview. I hope that you have got an idea about important articles in the today's newspaper. And now let's get started with detailed analysis of all these particular articles one by one. And as I have told you that fine. So let's get started with the discussion. Also guys, as we have seen this particular thing, that you can download the explainer notes of this particular session. Now these notes are available on Telegram, and every class we start with a GS quotation. So today we are going to take quotation from Socrates, the Greek philosopher. Now Socrates says, once a man knows good from evil, nothing on earth can compel him to act against that knowledge. So Socrates believed in moral intellectualism. Believed in moral intellectualism. Now understand this particular thing. Socrates believed that many number of a time people do bad because they don't know what a good is. If you'll understand good in its true nature, you can never go against that good. You can never follow evil if you know what a good is. So in order to make people ethical, we need to sensitize people with respect to the ethical nuances. So once a man know good and how good is different from the evil, never he will act against that particular knowledge. So therefore, ethical sensitization, ethical learning, moral education plays a very important role. You can use directly this particular idea in GS paper number 4, ethics, integrity and aptitude paper. So this is all about the GS quotation, and now let's get started with the first article that we have. So this is the first article that we are going to take, food factor. Now this particular article talks about the increasing food inflation in the context of India. Okay, now guys, understand this particular thing, that we have monetary policy committee. We have monetary policy committee. Now monetary policy committee aims to control inflation in India. Now understand this particular thing. Urjit Patel committee recommended that the comfortable range of inflation in India should be 4% plus minus 2%. 4% plus minus 2% means that there is a band in which inflation should stay. 4% plus 2% means 6%, minus 2% means 2%. So inflation should be within the range of 2% to 6%. This is the comfortable range of inflation, and Monetary Policy Committee aims to ensure that inflation should hover within this particular bracket. Now guys, what happened recently Fine. Inflation data was released. Monetary Policy Committee released the inflation data, and it was found that the consumer price index stayed at 5.09%, which is good. But guys, understand this thing, that when we specifically talk about food, so to measure food inflation specifically, we have one different parameter, we have one different index. And what we have here? Here we have the consumer food price index. Here we have the consumer food price index. So recently consumer food price index was also launched. Now, before going in the article's detail, I am going to discuss you basics of consumer food price index, because they are not mentioned in this particular article. So, consumer food price index, it is a measure of change in retail price of the food products. Keep in mind, not the wholesale price, retail price of food products consumed by a defined population group in a given area with reference to a base year. Okay, so there will be a base year. Compared to the base year, now what change have come into the retail prices of the food product? Okay, suppose in base year onion was 10 rupees kg. Okay, let's say in base year onion was 10 rupees kg. Today onion is 15 rupees per kg. I am talking about, let's say, retail prices. No, though these prices are not right, but just for an idea. So this change is measured by consumer food price index. Now, who releases this consumer food price index? So many places you will find CSO, but now CSO and NSSO got merged in NSO. So National Statistical Office, NSO, under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, it releases this consumer food price index, and it is releasing this consumer food price index in three categories, that is rural, urban and combined, which combines the rural and urban both, and it is being released since 2014. Now it is calculated on monthly basis. Okay, now understand this thing, that what is a base year? Presently base year is 2012. Okay, so the base year was revised from 2010 to 2012 in 2015. So this is the base year. Now you see this particular thing, that within now what are the subgroups, what are the subcategories that are included in the consumer food price index? So cereals. Now if you see here, and see, different commodities are given different weightages also, weights also. Okay, so cereals and related products, they are given the weightage of 36.71 in rural, 28.51 in urban, and in combined they are given the weightage of 34.16. Okay, then we have pulses, oils and fats, eggs, fish and meat, milks products, condiments and spices, vegetable, fruit, sugar. Okay, so these are the categories that we have. Now, what is the biggest category, or the highest weightage is given to cereals? Highest weightage is given to cereals, that is 36.71. Then second highest is on milk products, that is 16.53, and the vegetables, they are third highest, that is 12.64%. Okay, sorry, 12.64. This is the weightage that is given to the vegetable. Now guys, if you look around, and I'm pretty sure you might be knowing this also, that nowadays vegetable prices, they have increased so much. Prices of tomato, onion, potato, they have increased so much. So, and more and a weightage of 12.64 is given to the prices of vegetables. So as prices of vegetable is going up, consumer food price index will also go up. Now, so the article says this particular thing, that when we talk about the latest consumer food price index, it accelerated to 8.66%, which is high. And why consumer food price index stands at 8.66%? Why it is so high? It is high because of the vegetable prices that has went high. So when we talk about the vegetable prices, so inflation inflation, when we talk about the vegetable prices, it remains to be the biggest and the third heaviest food category. Already I have shown you. Fine. And 30% inflation is in the vegetable prices. 30% inflation is there in the vegetable prices. Just a minute. Fine. So 30% inflation is there in the vegetable price. And within the vegetables, potato, onion, tomato, they are the one which are widely consumed, every person, rich, poor, is going to consume potato, onion, tomato, and here within this particular vegetable category they are given the highest weightage and their prices have been way higher, now this so much of the data that how much inflation is in potato, how much inflation is onion is not that much important, but to give you the perspective, I'll show you here, okay. So you see this particular thing, that when we talk about the potato, onion and tomato, their inflation has been in the range of 21%, 41%, 35%. So high inflation, and because of this consumer food price index has went down. Now guys, government has tried to take certain efforts to reduce the vegetable prices, to reduce the food inflation. For example, what happened, government tried to impose a ban on export of onions. Okay, now understand this thing, that whenever any commodities supply will be less, price will go up. So if we are exporting onion to the other countries, the availability of onions in India will go down and the prices will go up. So therefore, what government has tried to do, government in order to ease the supply of onions have tried to impose a ban on onion export, but they were not that much helpful. However, guys, see this thing, that when we talk about the onion output, it was seen, basically there was a reduction in onion output. Okay, so it was 15.6% lower than the last year. Even the potato production will see the 2% deficit. And guys, at the same time, when we talk about the water availability in around reservoir, water availability in the reservoirs in India, water availability is also less. Just 40% water is there in the reservoirs. Fine, 40% of the capacity is there in the reservoir. Suppose if they can store 100 liter of water, only 40 liter of water is there. So water availability is less, already food production is less. Now if water availability is less, the crops that are sown during the period of summer, there will be problem in growing these crops, because you know that water is needed for the agriculture. So this thing shows that even food production and the vegetable production will go down, which will further drive inflation, and food inflation is the most concerning because it is the most painful for poor people. So therefore, some immediate steps, immediate measures are needed to be taken in this particular direction. So that is all guys about this particular article. I hope that you have understood it along with this basic background information. Okay, so that is about it. And now moving to next article. Okay, moving to next article. Looking to the future on St. Patrick's Day. Looking to the future on St. Patrick's Day. Now, this article we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 2, India-Ireland relation. India-Ireland relation. Okay. So, 2024 marks 75 years of diplomatic relation between India and Ireland. Now, this particular article is written by Mr. Kevin Kelly, who is the ambassador of Ireland to India. Now, why I am mentioning specifically who has written? Because when you read the article, so the article is written in active voice. So, article is written in a kind of a language, by which, so the article is giving an overview of India-Ireland relations, okay, from the point of view of an ambassador. Now, First of all, what is this St. Patrick's Day? Let's understand this thing. So basically, St. Patrick is a saint in Ireland who died in 5th century. And St. Patrick Day, it is celebrated on 17th of March. It is commemorated. It is commemorated on the 17th of the March. Okay. Now, why it is commemorated? It is commemorated in the remembrance of the St. Patrick. Now, basically, this particular day has evolved from a religious observance to an observance of Irish culture, Irish heritage. Fine. So, it is to celebrate Irish culture, Irish heritage, Irish way of life. It is showcased around the world, and wherever Irish population is there, they observe it. Now, so St. Patrick's Day 2024, 17 March, it will be there. Okay, and the 2024 also marks 75 years of diplomatic ties between Ireland and India. Now, it has been said that both of India and Ireland, they have a shared history against colonial oppression, and both have come out as modern republics, and there is a deep ties on trade front, education. Large number of Indian students, they are going to Ireland on study visa. Fine, they are going to Ireland on study visa. Okay, people to people connections is there. A huge diaspora also, Indian diaspora lives in Ireland. Fine. Now, it has been said that what are the core issues now in this particular article. So, ambassador has highlighted some of the core positions of Ireland on global issues. So, first of all, it has been said that there is the challenges on any kind of a celebration. Why challenges on any kind of celebration? Because right now global crises are going on in world stage, and two of the global crises are Russia Ukraine war and then Israel Gaza war. Now when we talk about the position of India on these particular wars, India has not taken any clear position, but India condemns violence, India condemns the suffering of the innocent people. When we talk about the Ireland has taken a clear stand in this particular position. They advocate for accountability and upholding of humanitarian law in Israel Gaza war, and they are supporting the civilian innocent people in Gaza. They are supporting civilian innocent people in Gaza who are getting suffered because of this particular war. Now, so the ambassador writes this particular thing that Ireland itself has some bad experiences. So they have seen repeated famines, high levels of poverty, conflicts have been there in Ireland also, and because of that they have a distinct empathy. They have a distinct empathy for the crises that are going anywhere in the world. Second, then and thirdly, the ambassador also writes this particular thing that Ireland is really proud. It is really proud about the young people's role in addressing the climate emergency, climate changes. Okay, young people's attitude towards the international law, etc. Now, when we talk about India, guys, India has a young demography. Average age of people in India is at 28 years. So these young people can be a very important force for any country. Okay. Now, the article suggests that both India and Ireland need to leverage the energy and innovation of the youth to tackle global challenges, to promote sustainable development, to promote climate conscious production, climate conscious manufacturing. So youth people's energy, youth people's know-how should be utilized. Also, Ireland's position in global community is very good in terms of the UN Human Development Index. They have been the advocate for progress, equality. Okay. Moreover, when we talk about the bilateral relation between India and Ireland, it is also very good, particularly on the people-to-people ties. A large number of students go to Ireland for study. These particular ties further need to be enhanced. Bilateral relation, trade relations are further to be enhanced. This is something that the ambassador is expecting on this 75th year of ease of bilateral relations between India and Ireland. So that is all about it. Fine. So here in this particular article, there was this Irish saying that was mentioned: "We live in each other's shadow. We live in each other's shadow." Fine. Which encapsulates the spirit of mutual support, mutual partnership, which Ireland advocates for India also, that India and Ireland should keep this particular principle in mind. You can use it in your IR related answers, GS paper number 2. Okay, now on this particular article, we can make a mains question also. And the mains question is like this: discuss the significance of celebrating St. Patrick's Day in India and how it reflects the depth of Ireland-India relation. Highlight the key areas of cooperation that have strengthened bilateral ties between two nations over the years. So 10 marker question, GS paper number 2. Okay, moving on. And let's take the next article. Okay, so here we have this article. It's Ra-Ra-Ras-Putin. So there was one song also by the same lyrics. Okay, so a good song, listen it someday. Okay, this article will discuss with respect to GS paper number 2, international relations, India-Russia relations. Now, before going in this particular article, guys, let's understand this particular thing. So when we talk about Russia, so this article talks about the upcoming presidential elections of 2024. Upcoming presidential elections for 2024. Now, understand guys that Russia adopted a constitution post collapse of USSR in 1991. So after USSR collapsed in 1991, Russia provided in the Russian constitution, Russia provided that the president will not hold two consecutive tenures, will not hold two consecutive tenures. Okay, fine. So president cannot hold two consecutive tenure. Now, when we talk about when we talk about Putin, Vladimir Putin. So Putin, he was first elected as a president in 2000. Okay, then he got re-elected in 2004, 2012, 2018. Between 2008 to 2012, between 2008 to 2012, he was briefly prime minister. Why he did not become president? Because two consecutive terms cannot be there. Two consecutive terms cannot be there. Now, guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about the Russia in 2020, there was an amendment that was done in Russian constitution, and as per this amendment, two important things happened. Number one, it was basically the earlier tenures of Russian President Putin, they were resetted. They were resetted. Fine. And secondly, what happened? It was provided that a person in Russia can become president for maximum two tenures overall. Maximum two tenures overall. Earlier, two consecutive tenures were provided. Means that a person can become president for one term, then can again become president for another term, then can take a break, then again can become president, then can become president, then can take a break, then for two terms again can become a president, can take a break. But now overall two terms are provided. Overall two terms are provided, and earlier term of the Putin, they have been resetted. They have been resetted. Also, one more thing, guys, I want to just provide you. One more thing I want to provide you, that as per the present system, president will hold the term for 6 years. President will hold the term for 6 years. Okay. So last presidential elections were in 2018. So therefore, Putin would continue for 2024. Okay. Now the Putin is going to contest for 2024, and if he wins in 2024, he'll continue till 2030. Now, I told you that all the earlier tenures of Putin, they have been resetted. They have been resetted. So means that this particular tenure will be considered his first tenure. Okay. So last election were in 2018. So, and the amendment came in 2022. So before 2020, any tenure that got started is resetted. So this 2024 is going to be first, will continue till 2030. Then in 2030, he can again contest election and will be in power till 2036. 2036. Okay, this is the present situation. Just a minute. This is the present situation. Now, the point is that is he going to win this 2024 term and the next 2030 term? So if we see the present situation on practical front, yes, he is going to continue and he is going to win also. Why he is going to win? Because guys, understand this thing, right now there is virtually no opposition to Putin in the Russia. Okay, there are right now 3 candidates who are contesting against Putin, but they don't have any practical possibility to win. Any practical possibility to win. So some of the serious opposition that was there, serious opposition figures that were there in Russia, that is the Boris Nadezhdin and Alexei Navalny. Now they have been silenced. Okay, and many other critics, they have been jailed. Alexei Navalny, fine, he died in suspicious circumstances. Why? Because he was a political critic. So opposition is not there, and therefore unopposed Putin might win. Fine, whosoever is the opposition, they are not powerful in front of Putin. Also, guys, understand this thing, that there is also high approval rating for Putin in Russia. Putin is like a cult figure in Russia, and there is a high approval rating, which also will help which will also help Putin to consolidate his tenure in this upcoming election. Also, certain things are there which have to be also noted, that though Russia is supporting Putin and a new wave of nationalism is there, but also there is a war fatigue. Also, there is a war fatigue that has developed in Russian population. War fatigue. People are now tired because of this Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, now a narrative was created by Putin in Russia that they are fighting with the Nazism in Ukraine. They are fighting with the Nazism in Ukraine. And this assurance was given that this war is going to be short. But you see that around 3 years have happened. This war is has not come to any culmination, and this has become a kind of a Russia versus West war now. Also, guys, understand this particular thing that Putin, he has supported the military Keynesianism. Military Keynesianism. So it comes from the name of a economist Keynes. What is military uh, Keynesianism? So basically, it is a kind of an economic policy that is based that government should raise military spending, and as government will raise military spending, from high military spending, economic growth will come. Fine. So increased military spending will lead to high economic growth. Okay, so this is the military Keynesianism which the Putin is supporting, But now the people are also getting tired because of this. Now understand this particular thing, guys, that we see this particular thing that basically Putin has a high control over the Russian politics, and there is the elites who are also reliant on the Putin for the favor. So the elite class of Russia is also supporting Putin. Now, this article suggests that when we assess Russia's situation and the upcoming presidential election, we need to have a nuanced understanding of Russia's political system. We need not to go for an oversimplified explanation that Russia is simply an autocrat who is ruling with brute power. No, there are many dynamics that are there. Okay. We also need to recognize the multifaceted nature of Russian society, Russian politics. Fine. And only keeping that in mind, we need to understand Russia. And understanding Russia is not very easy. And here, therefore, Winston Churchill also said that Russia is a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. So understanding Russia is very complicated. Okay. Now, on this particular thing, there can be one art question also that we can frame. Okay, and the question can be like this: evaluate the role of opposition in maintaining a democratic framework. In the context of the Russian presidential election of 2024, discuss the challenges faced by opposition figures and the implication for political dissent and democracy in authoritarian states such as Russia. So you might have seen that the UPSC asks the question based on inferences implications. Okay, so that can this kind of a question can be there. So that is all, guys, about it. And now moving on, and let's take the next article. Okay. Railways plan to develop multi-modal transport hubs. Railways plan to develop multi-modal transport hubs. Okay. Now, so this article we are going to see with respect to GS paper number 3, issues related to infrastructure. So government of India, in line with their Viksit Bharat initiative, has come out with the comprehensive railway sector reforms. Okay, so basically Indian Railway, they are going to create mega railway terminals with multimodal connectivity. Now, what is multimodal connectivity? So basically, these will be the integrated hubs which will have connectivity to, now suppose guys, I want to send a container to Dubai. I want to send a container from Dubai from Delhi. From Delhi, I want to send a container to Dubai. Now, what I might be doing, I might be sending my container from Delhi to some X place on road. Then from this X place to Mumbai, I will be sending it on railway. Okay. Then from railway, it will be shifted on a ship, and on a ship it will reach to Dubai. Now, what are the multimodal terminals? Multimodal terminals are the ones which have connectivity with the other mediums of transportation. So a railway terminal will be connected with the inland shipping, will be connected with the roadways, will be connected with the other modes of transportation also. So such multimodal connectivity will be focused, and in the aspirational cities, find the cities having population of more than 10 lakh, there these multimodal terminals will be developed. Mega railway terminals, fine, which will be huge, big size mega railway terminals, they will also be developed as a part of the Viksit Bharat initiative. Also, government is focusing on enhancing the passenger experience on the rails in a mission mode approach. So we already seen that when Vande Bharat express trains, they have proliferated across India, but now the passenger experience, whether the toilets are clean or not, whether the charging ports are working or not, all these particular things also government is now going to focus hugely. Okay, so this is just about it. Beyond that, nothing much is given in this particular article. Now, moving on to next article. Supreme Court asks why SBI didn't give all the details of the poll bonds. Okay, so guys, we already have seen this particular thing, that electoral bond scheme has been invalidated by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says that electoral bond scheme is manifestly arbitrary and it promotes opaqueness in electoral funding. Okay, Supreme Court asked the State Bank of India that State Bank of India should share information that how much money was raised by electoral bond, which party, which company donated how much money to which political party. This information was to be shared by SBI to the Election Commission, and Election Commission will put that particular information in the public domain. Now, basically understand this thing, that actually in 2019 what happened, Ministry of Finance told Supreme Court that electoral bond have a unique hidden alphanumeric serials. Fine, every electoral bond will have a unique alphanumeric serials, okay, which will which is important part of their which is an important part of their security feature. Now actually what has happened, recently, State Bank of India gave the details of electoral bonds purchased by anonymous donors to the Election Commission. But State Bank of India did not give these unique serial numbers, fine, the hidden alphanumeric serial codes on which these electoral bonds are to be identified. These alphanumeric serial numbers have not been given. So Supreme Court asked that why SBI have not given all the information, why you have not given these alphanumeric serial numbers. Now guys, I'll not advise you to go too much in detail in this particular article. Why? Because this is an evolving matter. Now State Bank of India will give a reply, Finance Minister might support it, might counter it, then this particular thing is going on. So no need to go too much in that detail. Okay. New election commissions to take charge, Supreme Court refuses to stay their appointment. So this article guys we have recently discussed also. So basically guys, when we talk about Election Commission of India, Article 324 provides that Election Commission of India will be responsible for superintendent's conduct of elections in India. Fine, except for the elections of the ULBs and panchayats, elections superintendents will be with the Election Commission of India. Now Election Commission of India right now is a multi-member body. So basically what has happened guys, when we talk about the Election Commission of India's appointment of Election Commissioner, Chief Election Commissioner, these appointments earlier were done by the President of India. Now basically Supreme Court in Anup Barnwal case, Supreme Court in Anup Barnwal judgment said this particular thing, that having all the powers within the hands of President with respect to EC and CEC might be wrong. So therefore Supreme Court said that a collegium type body, a selection committee is to be constituted which will recommend that who can become the EC and CEC. And Supreme Court in this Anup Barnwal judgment said that there should be a body having Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition and Chief Justice of India, who will select the Chief Election Commissioner or Election Commissioner. Now what happened? Government came out with the act, that is Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners appointment, condition of service and terms of office Act 2023. This particular act government came out with. And then this particular act they provided that election commissioner and chief election commissioner's appointment will be done by a selection committee having Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition and a cabinet minister. So Chief Justice of India was replaced by this cabinet minister. Okay, now cabinet minister and prime minister are obviously from the ruling party. So it has been said that ruling party again has been given power to appoint the EC and CEC, and now 2024 general elections are coming. It might have some implications. Okay, now guys, what has happened? So just yesterday, new election commissioners have been appointed in line with this new law without the CJI. So basically what has happened, many activists Okay, critics, opponents, they have said that this is unconstitutional and this new appointment is to be stayed. This new appointment is to be stayed. But Supreme Court right now has refused, that will not stay it. Okay, that is all about it. Army raises first unit to operate Apache attack helicopters in Jodhpur. So guys, when we talk about these Apache attack helicopters, they are right now manufactured by Boeing US. They are right now manufactured by Boeing US, and these are the attack helicopters which are known for its versatility, durability, and now India is also adopting these Apache helicopters. Okay, so basically India, fine. India signed with the deal with Boeing for 6 Apache helicopters for the army at a cost of $800 million in 2020. Fine. Fine. So basically now these Apache helicopters will come and they'll be deployed in Jodhpur. So Jodhpur, the first unit will be deployed. Okay. Beyond this, nothing much is given in the particular article. The cost, how much money, fine they were procured, etc. No need to go too much in that detail. Okay, so that is all guys about it. I hope that you have understood it. Fine. And I hope guys that you are enjoying this particular analysis. Guys, if you are liking the video, please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe to the channel. And now we'll be meeting on Monday. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much.